we are going to look at slightly modified setups here, but with each one we're going to add like a new concept. Okay. So the first one will really bring us to the most basic finish, what I like to call like a caveman finish, where you just bring the heel and crank it, similar to an armbar. Okay. Which typically it's very common in competition because it comes with the momentum of your setup, if that makes sense. Okay. So this is a very good setup that complements that. Okay, a high knee shield, or what our friend Nikki Sullivan calls Panda Guard. Okay. So we have a high knee shield here. We have a good lat frame. Okay. And as we do all this, we're looking for a scoop grip. Now, there's a big hazard here. When we go for scoop grips and leg entries and knee shield, we have to worry about a cross face coming in, losing the knee shield and getting flattened out here. Okay? That's always a risk. So for those of you that are familiar with K-Guard, some concepts here that we can focus on. Okay? Loading the person with our frames and actually extending them away. Okay? So a lot of different ways to do this. I like to focus on these details so I don't get flattened out in that regard. Okay? So I load him on, and then I actually extend him away like I'm in K-Guard, and I like to hit a nice thumb post here. Okay? This thumb post is going to give me a buffer of time, so if Ramiro comes back, okay, I can actually stifle him with that post a little bit. There's a lot of different ways to bring the leg around, like you'll see people like Cyborg and Buchecha do a big swing here. Okay? In a lot of regards too, you'll see people like Nikki that I mentioned and Dean Lister come in entries here where they're more direct. Okay? That's going to be for you to determine which one's easier for you. Okay? For now, we're going to be more direct, so I'm just going to bring my knee through, stick my foot over, and you guys see what I do right away. When I throw this leg over, I put all the emphasis right now on bridging up to my shoulder. Okay? As I bridge up to my shoulder, that's when I lock a full gable grip here. The reason why it's so important to be on my shoulder is now if Ramiro tries to cross face me, it's extremely difficult. Like, go ahead, you can reach my head, even try to flatten me out. It's very tough, okay? Whereas if I stay here, even though I'm scooping his leg, if he, go ahead, if he gets here and he sprawls, yeah, especially against somebody big, you're in trouble, okay? So, we have a shin frame, a lat frame, high knee shield, okay? Loading him up, pushing him away, getting our thumb post here, bringing our leg through. Guys, this back heel motion here with both feet is really what's going to help you continue to turn the corner here. The more I get up into the point of my shoulder here, the better. Okay, the more effective I am. Okay? Now, just like the entry, there's a lot of ways to attack the leg here. In that regard, guys, I know I'm glossing over options. We will circle back around to this and have this be its own class. Okay? But for now, let's stick with, in my opinion, what's the strongest way to off-balance somebody, which is, think of a coyote guard. Okay? We usually bring our foot here, and we use that foot to start turning his knee and his foot out, right? In this case, I'm going to use my hand. So what I like to do is I like to bring my hand over the ridge of the foot, grabbing on the big toe side, and then from here, we can really start to put some pressure into the knee. Now, to retain the accuracy of our knee bar, okay, I'm not going to cross my legs here yet and lose my hip dexterity. Guys, you see I'm also using this bottom shin to put some traction over his knee, okay? Instead, I'm going to barrel roll this, okay? So I'm pulling his foot to me, and as I pull, I'm rolling my hips with the knee. I'm never going to stop pommeling the knee so that when I land, his knee is in line with the fulcrum here, okay? Now, as we land, I'm going to switch to a double heel grip. This is going to be our caveman finish, the classic finish, okay? Both hands on the heel, heels clench, and then we pull in, okay? And this is going to come into play with the next finish too. There is an element here where, like, at the end, prior to switching to the standard finish, which we'll look at next, okay? As you're pulling in, if you're not quite getting the tap again, you can take that heel and kind of roll it inwards, and that'll help build a little extra tension through the knee, okay? So make sure you're loading and you're extending away, and that'll make this way easier, okay? Now, once we get here, guys, the reason I'm grabbing the foot like this, if he's experienced, he's going to be tucked here. His knees are going to be solid like he's in closed guard. You're going to try to roll him and he's not going to move. So it's really important to grab here to get that knee weak, okay? And just like a heel hook, if he resists, it's going to be kind of bad for his knee here. Okay? So we're pulling, and as I pull, I'm rotating with him. And as I land, that's when I'm going to cross my feet and back heel. Both hands on the heel. I'm back heeling, bridging my hips in, and pulling the heel to my shoulder. We're grabbing this leg in a different way. Okay? And the top person's kind of being complicit here. Like they're letting you pull their leg out. Okay, Matt, what are you gonna do? Yeah, exactly. That's all I got right there. So guys, just this little change on the foot. Like don't grab the ankle or the shin, grab here. And like he'll tell you, like his knee is, it's basically a heel hook. Matt's knee is perpendicular to the line of my hips, I guess. Yeah, facing the ceiling. All right, and this is where a lot of people just like have the wrong idea about knee bars. Okay, so this is what I see the most, and this is, I'm guilty of this too. Matt's gonna spin this way to escape. He's gonna free his knee line. He's gonna get on top. Numerous things. He's basically free at that point. And what I see is like people trying to take this knee and bring it back the opposite direction. So it's my arms against the rotation of Matt's hips. He's probably gonna win every time, okay? So guys, in scenarios like this, again, remember what I said last week. If you wanna have a very dynamic, active knee bar, this hip always needs to chase this spot right above the knee, okay? Eventually, later on, if we I become a better teacher and we get a better handle for this, we can maybe invent some drills, okay? But for now, as a concept, okay, you're gonna have to look at things here where you start to change the position of your hips, okay? And a lot of times here, we are gonna continue to roll, okay? And then if we continue to roll all the way through, look, we end up right back in the same spot. Classic entry here, we can look for that scoop grip that we just did from the top, okay? Thumb post here, clear a path, start to cut our knee over, and we can enter what we call a Kneebar headquarters here, okay? Now, if you prefer that, great, works fine, okay? Tons of examples of that working in competition, even with the top person standing, okay? However, like everything else, especially when we first start learning something, we're gonna start with a slower, more controlled, technical response. So we're making a lot of good habits here right away, right? So that starts with the grip. Instead of using a scoop grip, okay, what we're gonna do this week is we're actually gonna reach through like a leg weave, and we're gonna grab the bottom shin, okay? Once we enter the knee bar headquarters, what this is gonna do is it's gonna give us control over the defending leg, all right? I'm trying to knee bar the top leg. Mike's gonna try to defend with the bottom leg, so if I can keep that leg at bay at first, I'm gonna have a clearer path to a knee bar here sometimes, okay? And again, this hand is generally posting here to clear my path, making sure he's not attacking my legs, so on and so forth, okay? And here, we're cutting over like a knee slice, okay? And then as I come over, guys, you see I already have that grip on the second leg. I can involve my second arm here and really start to pull my elbows in tight, okay? And you see I'm pulling my knee to my chest, so this bottom leg is basically shelved up here, okay? Now, to finish, we went over this in the basics class. You can do knee bars with this knee on the ground, but if I start to slide under, this leg might get caught under him, and I'm gonna have to pull Mike on top of me to free this leg. So I'm gonna highly suggest here, and you'll feel off balance, but you're gonna fall anyways, okay? Lean into the posted foot, bring your other leg up, okay? And at least get both feet on the ground, okay? The best we can do here right away, actually cross your feet. So we already have a vise on the hips. I'm gonna take my far hand and control the heel, okay? We're falling to the side here. Now we're back in the knee bar. Now, this one I'm just falling, there's a little less momentum, okay? And guys, look, I need to worry about the second leg. We talked about this last week. So let's say I fall here with a more slower and controlled finish, and I go to caveman Mike right away. He's gonna start to rotate that way. Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna have to chase the knee bar a little more. That's extremely common, okay? So guys, what I'm gonna recommend you do is keep control of that bottom leg, okay? He's gonna start to move this leg around, okay? At least grab his ankle. And it's that old concept, like when you sweep somebody, right? and you get on top, if they can't put their feet on the ground, how can they possibly scramble? It's going to be really difficult here, okay? Now, as I do that, okay, make sure we clear his defenses first. I'm going to start to think about getting to my finish. So instead of the caveman here, I'm pulling the heel in. I'm going to stretch my posture so the side of my neck is catching the ball of his big toe. Okay? What you should feel here, just like the last technique, is not only are you lifting the heel, but your neck pushing the toes down is causing like a twisting pressure now. Okay? It's like locking that knee in place. And once I feel that, I'm basically ready to finish. Now it's going to be a safer thing to let go of the second foot. And like you can try to spin gently. See, I already have. For example, whichever way Matt goes, I'm either going to push or pull the heel. Okay? So if Matt, we're going to do this really slow, okay? If Matt tries to go that way, I'm going to push that heel down. You guys can see that like really tenses up his knee. If Matt tries to spin that way, I'm going to pull his heel up. Does that make sense? That's where this finish is, again, not only the grips making it stronger, but that control of the heel, pushing it down, pulling it up, also makes this a way stronger finish, okay? All right, so here, we'll go over the leg and scoop the bottom leg. Again, I can use this for thumb post. Guys, when you do this entry, you should be perpendicular. Don't do it from a knee shield right here. Too far away, it's gonna be very telegraphed. Start to come in this way, okay? And then cut your knee over. Okay. Now, as soon as I get here, I can look to switch arms. So I can get both arms involved here. Again, you guys can hold like this. But again, especially me, I'm smaller, weaker. Okay, sometimes people can muscle out of this. You can actually use your elbows here and like crunch up on this pretty tight. And that's going to be difficult for him to get his leg back. Okay. I strongly prefer this. Now from here, I'll lean so I can get this leg out. Okay. Makes this light so it's easy to bring around. Okay, far hand control the heel. Now I'm going to fall to my side, and again, as I apply the finish here, for as long as possible, up until I get the tension running through the knee, I'm going to try to control this second leg. Okay, so as I pull the heel straight and I get here, once I'm about here and I'm rotating Albert's knee, that's when I'm going to let go. Once I feel that tension shoot from his hip to his foot. Here, and then I can engage my finish. This is going to happen when the knee bar gets more dynamic. Like right here, you guys will feel like it's hard to triangle your legs. Like intuitively, you're less likely to do it on accident. Like it's more like an arm bar here where I'm crossing my feet and back heeling. Okay. However, like remember what I was saying about the second leg and we start to get into scrambles here? Just like turn this way a little bit. Yeah, like bring this knee over. Yeah. But guys, don't start to do this. Like Ramiro will tell you, like you can just keep rotating the hip and it's like that kneecap is gonna slip out easier. Okay, let's rewind that whole thing. Now look at the difference when I keep like arm bar legs. Okay? And this kind of goes back into last week. When Ramiro spins, if I can keep arm bar legs, that's gonna basically keep the tension through the knee bar tight. So like he is spinning, but his kneecap isn't coming out of alignment. Okay, so it's like kind of like spinning with the heel hooker and arm bar in that regard. Okay, that's Is it wrong to slide through for the knee bar with your knee here? No. But as you slide through, you are gonna have to do an extra step that could potentially lead to problems. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of you do this. And it's a big part of this setup too, because you are knee slicing over. If I continue to knee slide, I'm going to have to pull Matt into me a little bit to get this leg free. That could lead to some momentum this way, which might be unwanted. Okay. Second thing that I'm seeing some of you do, remember from last week, okay? If we don't have like solid shelving or control over the leg here, yes, you can take the foot, feed it, and hit some nice foot traps here. So if Matt kicks through and gets the underhook, kind of like what we looked at a few weeks ago, okay? This is one of the main spots you're gonna backstep, as we saw with our half guard passing, okay? So guys, remember, especially now, he's up on his hand, okay? I have to have a wizard in, okay? If I don't, he's gonna wrestle up on me here, okay? So first thing, Try to get this knee through. As I sit on him and I start to push into him, I want to break him all the way down, not just to his elbow, but to his shoulder. You guys see I'm falling too? That's naturally going to tell you now to put your hand on the floor, okay? And guys, don't put it here. Okay, you're giving him the back take. I've seen a lot of people do that the last day. Okay, here. All right, now, also take the lesson from the Jedi mind trick too. We're not doing a big back step here. I don't want him to hook my leg, okay? So remember, when we do this, as we're hand fighting here, it's a pivot, okay? The shortest step we can possibly make. All right, so same thing, guys. I'm gonna reach through and grab the shin and the knee as I do this, okay? As you guys get better at this, you're almost looking to do that as you back step, okay? And then same thing, I'm sitting on him and I'm facing away from him. Now guys, something that's a little bit different about this one. Since I'm not knee shield, look at where my knee is this time. It's like past his hips, okay? I don't want to fall for the knee bar like this. His legs are going to be really loose. So make sure, this is going to be like one of the major differences this time. As you do this, and you grab that knee, make sure you're extending this knee through so you can really pull that secondary leg in tight. And then it's pretty much the same here, okay? Again, I like to bring this leg up so I already fall with my feet in position, cupping the heel, okay? And we're gonna favor that same finish. Now, if you guys want, okay, since we already did this, if you wanna add the option of the foot trap, okay? Instead of holding on with the elbow or grabbing the ankle, we're just gonna push this down, bring our bottom leg over. We're not making a triangle. We're more so like crossing our ankles, rotating our knees in, and then pinching here. And he should tell you like it's hard to kick out of this, okay? And then again, the benefit, now we got 2 free hands. So pulling this in, okay? Another detail that you guys can use when you have 2 free hands here. I'm not sure, any of you may be a shorter person partnered with a taller person here. Sometimes it's hard to do this. So guys, look, if I have the foot trapped and I have 2 free hands, here's another thing I can do. I'm gonna take my top hand, and I'm gonna make a lobster grip on his toes. Okay? I'm gonna use this to feed his toes to my neck. You guys should feel that this is even tighter now. Sorry. Okay. Top hand grabs the heel, rear naked choke. Okay. And there's our finish. Okay. So he was asking like, well, could you do some of the other stuff here, like while you're on top? Like for example, if I have the dexterity, could I look to start to trap the feet here right away? The answer is yes. Okay? And this is great. So now when you fall in either direction, like now you don't have to worry about that second foot at all. The only thing I will say here sometimes is it can be harder to get a deeper bite when you're on top, but you can start to walk this up as you fall too. So this is a part of extending your knee through, guys. If you're looking for that toe trap, you cannot like bring your leg this way, trap it this way, and expect to get her foot. Okay? Like this knee has to be extended through to have the ability to cross your feet. We're basically still doing the same thing here, guys. Okay? The beginning is different in that Ashley is elected to go from a knee shield to an underhook half guard. Okay? So we need to bring our knee through so we can back step. All right? I'm leaning into her, breaking her down to her shoulder, and again, that's when I start to post. A little hinge pivot with the knee here. And again, instead of sitting to saddle to attack a heel hook, nothing wrong with that. It's just a preference thing. Okay? We're actually sitting on our partner instead. Okay? As I do this, I'll look for that same leg weave here, guys. So again, I'm situating the defending leg under the attacking leg. Okay? I'm not grabbing over like this. She'll cross her feet. This one on top. Yeah. Then I have to separate the feet. I always strongly prefer to go under the knee bar leg first, grab the second leg, and then shelve this up. So less chance of her using this leg against me. Again, a really common problem with knee bars. I lean to get my feet crossed. I cup the heel. Now we're in the same position as last time, okay? You're feeling confident, okay? Instead of just holding on to the ankle and, going with the momentum or rushing to a finish here, we're pushing this down, bringing our bottom leg over. And guys, we're still crossing our feet. We're not doing a triangle when we do this. Same finish, her foot's just in the middle. Back heel, okay? We got our caveman here. Again, that's kind of our headquarter of finishes here. Guys, if you want to try this detail, feel free. This will actually make the knee bar away. pretty tighter in my opinion. Push the heel up, push the toes down, and then put your neck in place, and you'll almost like get way more rotation on the knee here. Pummel back to the top hand, rear naked. Okay, so again, the big question, problem we've been having this week during sparring is, what if we don't hit a perfect entry, which is going to happen a lot, and now the knee bar leg is on bottom, like how do we separate the feet? The good news in my opinion is, like, again, this isn't super hard to do. We just need to cause like weakness in the knees, okay? So right here, if I pull this way, the outside of the knee is weak. If I can find ways to pull this way, the inside of the knee is weak, okay? Kind of like when we were doing the Panda Guard or the Coyote Guard, okay? So, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna recommend that if you do pull on the outside of the leg, okay, that you attack both feet, okay? You guys see, just like the Panda Guard, I have my fingers wrapped around the ridges of the foot, so I have more leverage to open the knees here, and that's when I can start to make pass-offs here. You guys see, I'm right back to the same position. Okay. This is gonna come full circle now. A big reason I wanna work this direction this week is to show you guys the bridge between this week and last week, okay? So, the big highlight there is the leg is on top, okay? Now again, we can look to do the same thing. Push the foot down and track the foot here. Okay, in my opinion, it's sometimes the easiest on this side too, okay? Now, we're doing, again, all the same things upside down. I'm pushing the heel up, rotating my head in, and here we can look to get a finish, okay? Now, this can tend to be the weaker side for the classic knee bar finish. So if we ever get here and we're just wrenching this in competition and they're not tapping, okay, we can look to use a bridge between the three grips here, okay? So if I get Isis here and for whatever reason she's not tapping, I'll switch to that caveman grip. And the caveman grip is gonna be the bridge to the lat grip. So I'm gonna use that to bring this up and go to last week so I can pummel my shoulder over. And you guys see, I don't let go of the heel until I get my shoulder past, and then I have the lat knee bar again. Okay, and then from here, we can engage last week's finish, okay? Come through here, leaning in, breaking the balance, nice short step, and we're spinning through to that knee bar headquarters. Guys, again, I can't stress this enough. Do not be afraid to sit on your partner here. This is really what you want to do here, okay? Okay, we're shelving. All right, now this time, for whatever reason, I'm falling the other way so the knee bar is on top. Okay, just like last week. Okay, still controlling the heel. Again, I'm gonna strongly recommend you do this at least a few times. Just make sure your knees are past the shelf here. 1, 2. Okay, if my knee is on the other side of her leg, I won't be able to do this. Okay. All right, so we have our standard finish, which is what we're working this week. Pushing the heel, pulling the heel, pushing the toes. Okay. If for whatever reason that doesn't work, caveman finish. Okay. And then end of the line here, we can just keep pushing that heel, pummeling this in front. Again, grabbing our own leg, and we have a very strong finish here when we back heel and pinch our lats.